Chicago, 2011. A cop is murdered. Police and prosecutors swear they have the trigger man. He swears he didn't do it. How far will each side go to prove they're right?
Like it's just one bombshell after another, where you're like, what?
The story of a PlayStation, a brain-eating amoeba, and the relentless pursuit of justice. Off Duty, out now. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Howdy, howdy, ho, and welcome to Fantasy Fan Fellas. I'm Hayden, producer of the Fantasy Fangirls podcast and your resident lover of all things Sanderson.
And I'm Steven, your bookish internet goofball, but you can call me the Smash Daddy.
And we are currently deep diving Brandon Sanderson's fantasy epic, Mistborn. But here's the catch. Steven here has not read Mistborn before.
That's right, hey. So each week, you'll get my unfiltered, raw reactions to every single chapter.
And along the way, we'll do character deep dives, magic explainers, and Steven will even try to guess what's next. Spoiler alert, he'll be wrong.
Newsflash, I'm never wrong. Episodes come out every Wednesday, and you can find Fantasy Fan Fellas wherever you get your podcasts.
Hello and welcome back to the Psych Legal Pop Podcast. This is a podcast where we talk about popular culture through the lens of an attorney and a psychotherapist. I'm the therapist, Tess Brigham.
And I'm Brooke Brigham. I'm the attorney.
So today we are talking about sister wives. We are going through it's a journey. It really is. We are season 2, episode 10, Gambling on the Future. And this is when the Browns flee. I mean, truly flee Utah.
for religious freedom.
Yes, for religious freedom. Kody is like one of our founding fathers.
Yeah.
And Las Vegas is his Plymouth Rock.
Plymouth Rock.
Yes,
wow.
People, this is what we're dealing with. This is what we're dealing with.
Oh my gosh. A lot happens in this.
Oof, boy.
In this 42 minutes.
Yes,
it is a lot.
Jammed pack. And, it starts out with very serious music. And can I just set this up for you because I took the time to write it down, which is serious music, visual, Kody, no words, just Kody looking pensive. And then we're flashback to Kody, the first episode in his car, talking about his faith. The Chiron, April 2nd, 2010, back to Kody, no words, just pensive, flashing back. There's Kody with his wives. There's Mary, Janelle, Christine, back to Kody, silent, pensive, back to Robin. They're getting married. It's just, what is Kody going to do?
He has to protect his family.
Yes. And then we're back to Kody and Kody says, well, the city of Lehigh has finished their investigation and they've turned over their findings to the district attorney. And they, as a family, have decided to move to Nevada.
Now, when did they have that family vote? Who decided to move?
Yes, because I thought that was really interesting. Because no, not as a family.
No, there were a lot of dissenters.
Yes, there were.
Of course, everything has to be so dramatic. So then he breaks it to the family. Well, most of the family knows. Basically, he has to break it to the little kids, and they're all sitting in the living room. And I love this. He says, "Who likes being a family?" And so weird. Most of the little kids raised their hands. McKelty did not raise her hand.
The best is like Mary raises her hand. Like, I like being part of a family.
Yeah, Mary, this isn't for you. But and then Kody asks, "Are we a special family?" And he says, "We want to keep the family together. Nothing can break it. So because of the circumstances, we are moving to Las Vegas."
Mm-hmm.
And everyone kind of gasps. And Gwen says, "I like this home. You're out of your mind." Gwen has always been the truth teller.
Yes, she is.
Yeah.
What a weird, but isn't that the most bizarre way of telling your family?
Yes.
Like, what is going on? And did you notice that Christine and Janelle were completely absent? They were not there at all.
Yeah,
only Robin and Mary were the other wives that were there.
Yeah. Well, and also he says because of the circumstances with moving to Las Vegas. Well, what has he told these little kids? The circumstances? Like, do they even understand what is happening?
But they freely talk about police and the so
every time they hear a siren, everyone flips out.
Yeah, so they know that part about it.
Yeah,
it's a little all over the place where they talk about it. And then Isabel, what is she, 7 at the time, asks a very good question: when are we going to move? And Kody apologizes and he says, "We've had to be secretive about this, And I really think this is the only time we've ever heard Kody apologized to one of his kids. And he says, we need to move in 3 days. We're loading up in 3 days. Yeah. I mean, can you imagine the look on those kids' face?
Oh, they're sobbing.
3 days. And you can't tell anybody that we're moving in 3 days.
Right.
Unreal.
They can't say goodbye to their friends. This is horrible.
What I don't understand is the idea that we can't say goodbye to anyone because they don't want anyone to alert media. They don't want them to alert the police. Why can't they tell their friends goodbye?
Probably both. Well, just paranoia. I mean, they become paranoid. Mm-hmm. Like you said, every time, the police car drives by or there's a siren, they're freaking out. And then doesn't Mary say, or one of them says something about how TMZ found out?
Yeah, Christine. That's later on.
But yeah,
that triggers them really to flee.
Yeah, they're paranoid, and so we can't tell anyone. But yeah, the kids Aurora was sobbing like crazy.
Oh,
and she's only been there 5 minutes.
Yeah. Oh God, what Aurora sobs at everything. But the best is that Kody, of course, says every day we're here, we go deeper into fear. And then he goes to Garrison, he says, how you feeling, Garrison? Garrison says, it's heavy. It's like, yeah, it is heavy, Garrison. You're right.
Yeah.
But yeah, to say to your kids, you can't tell anyone. And then Kody says he has to readdress it with the older kids. And then this gets into this whole thing where Madison and Aspen have to stand up for Leon because Leon goes to this private church school. And apparently there is nothing for Leon in Las Vegas. And they think that Leon should be able to choose or to stay, I guess, and finish out the school year at the very least.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and she has they have a list. Of, why it's important that they stay. It's funny because, we might look at Leon and think, this thing about having to stay to put on the dance or whatever. Mm-hmm. But, I can remember being 15 and 16 and you really kind of do think that you are kind of grown up, and you have your own life for someone to just come along and just rip you out of that. I mean, it's really,
yeah. Jarring. I mean, I think it's very easy to make fun of Leon when he's like, well, the dance and the other people can't do it. But you're like, I mean, in your world, the dance and the school, that's everything. That's your whole life. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
it just gets worse.
Mm-hmm.
And then Kody talks about how God bestowed his responsibility onto Kody to care for Leon until they are married.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why Leon
or 18,
can't stay. Well, first he was saying 18, but then he changed it to when you're married.
Mm. Okay.
That was one of his reasons why, where we go one, we go all. I think he says that a couple of times too.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So now next scene is we're at Robin's house. Now I'm a little bit of a stickler about this. This really bugged me. It's Saturday night and they keep saying 3 days before the move. Well, really, you're all trying to leave Monday morning. Mm-hmm. Saturday night to Monday morning is not really 3 days. That's like 2. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and you're allegedly leaving early Monday morning. So Monday doesn't even count. You have to be ready in like 36 hours.
Yeah. So and Saturday is done. It's night.
Saturday's
it's dark
over.
Out.
You have all day Sunday.
You basically have a day.
Yeah.
So stop saying 3 days. Stop saying 3 days. So we learned that Dayton's birthday is Sunday. They still don't know where they're going to, at this point, Saturday night, they still don't know where they're going to live. And Robin says that she's very angry with God, but she always pays for those thoughts later. What's that all about? I was like, he always humbles her. What do you think that's going? What do you think that's about?
Pays for it later. That's weird.
Yeah. What do you think that means? Do you think? Well, maybe I shouldn't get into it. Do you think that she and Kody do some like role play?
some God role play?
Yeah.
Like, you've been a very bad girl, Robin.
This is God speaking.
I'm going to have to punish you. But when it's over, I will forgive you. Oh, totally. You know, they do some weird stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Kody is he's on a tear. He's just running around.
Oh, his ADD is on fire.
Oh, he comes ripping and running into Robin's house, and Robin is lamenting how this is her 4th move in 2 years.
Yeah. Oh, that would really suck, though. I feel for her in this moment. I really do.
I do. Which means I kind of, calculated this. So that means she's in Las Vegas before that, where they're going to Las Vegas. And before that is Lehigh. Before that is the TLC house. Where was she living before that? A trailer, maybe? A trailer, question mark.
Yeah, because TLC moved her into that house in St. George, right? And then, so she was in the trailer. And then I'm sure they moved into that trailer when they divorced, right? She got the divorce.
Right. Or maybe
trailer, that house. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it's not good.
With this,
no, it's just
everybody's
it's a mess.
Everybody's
Dayton
upset.
and Aurora are fighting. The kids are stressed out.
Oh, the kids are totally stressed out.
Yeah, and I can imagine for these kids, especially for Dayton, since he's on the spectrum, for kids like that to move this much, that's a lot. I mean, it's a lot for any kid, period. But for a kid like Dayton, with, neurodivergent, it's really hard.
Well, in Dayton's birthday party that night, this is the famous scene where Kody gives him $20 for his birthday. And then Robin says, oh, you can buy something for your new room. Maybe a dresser. And he just looks at her like, no, I'm going to buy a toy. But who says that? And Ace and Caitlin always they point this out that, Dayton had to buy his own dresser.
Yes. For his own house. Yeah. But then we go back to, this is my favorite part, right? Then we go back to, we're now flashed over to Janelle's house, and Janelle is packing books. But this is the best. Well, so Logan walks over and Janelle's like, he's like, what are you doing? And she's like, well, I'm packing books. He's like, cookbooks? And she's like, I don't know, just books. And he's like, well, yeah, you're packing books because I've packed all the other books.
Oh, I know.
Of course, Logan, Daddy Logan is taking care of everything.
He's organizing and packing Tupperware.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
And Janelle's house of all of them looks the most packed.
Yes. Because
Logan's in charge.
Has been up all night. Because Logan realizes that Saturday, unlike anybody else in this house, Logan's the only one that's realized that Saturday to Monday is not 3 days.
Right.
36 hours.
36 hours. And he's going to be up all night.
Yes.
For the next 2 nights. And then he's got to drive all these fuckers to Las Vegas.
And he knows. He is prepared. He's been there the longest. He knows how insane all of this is going to be. And he knows he's got to organize this Tupperware now, or it's going to be bad on the other end.
Right.
So he knows. And then, but what I thought was interesting, Mary says that they moved into this house when Leon was 10. Mm-hmm. So really, Leon's 16? They've only been there
maybe 15. Oh, they have their learner's permit, remember? So I don't even think that it wasn't even
6 years. So I was like, God, you guys are really okay. So you haven't been there that long. I mean, I understand you like the house, but you're not that sunk into it.
It's the longest they've lived anywhere though, I think, at this point.
Jeez. Oh, God.
Yeah. So it's the 11th hour. Mona finds them this big rental house for 1 month, but it's not available until Tuesday.
Yes. Oh, hold on. Wait, hold on. Yes. But real quick before this, we're back to this idea of why they're moving. And, we do see these interviews with the teens, and it's really hard to watch these teens defend their dad about this danger, right? They're like, if we don't leave, our dad could go to prison and our family could be broken up. And it's a little bit of like, well, really? It keeps coming back to what we talked about last time, which is, are they truly in danger? And were these kids lied to about the level of danger that they're in? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I just feel bad for them. I'm like, were you told that you were in such danger? And then do you look back on this and realize like, oh, wait a second, we weren't in such like our father wasn't in such danger that we all had to flee,
right? Because
our father didn't want to lose the show.
Well, and also the way he explains it to them, like we're in danger, I could go to prison. We could be separated. Okay, Kody, it's not that dramatic. This isn't, 100 years ago or whatever, when that thing happened to Christine's grandfather. And it happened to the grandfather because it was done for, I'm sure, to make an example out of him, because he was the head of the church. He wasn't just rando. So,
well, Kody thinks so highly of himself. He probably thinks like they're going to make an example out of me. But it's like, no, Kody, like if you're going to be honest with your kids, just tell them what the truth is, which is TLC doesn't want to get in trouble. So they're going to,
Yeah. If we want to continue on this show, we got to go somewhere else.
But so now we're back. Cody's at Robin's house and they're on the phone with Janelle telling her about the rental house. So and then Mona working all night. It's now Saturday night. Mona's at her office working for these people.
Yeah.
But they can't get into it until Tuesday. But Janelle doesn't want to delay a day. And now I'm confused because I thought Janelle was with Christine on I don't want to leave Utah. But now Janelle's paranoid and wants to go.
Yeah.
Did I miss that?
Well, no, I think Janelle really wasn't that vocal about what she thought until this episode. I don't remember what her position was. And
I guess I thought she was more neutral and didn't really care and wasn't worried.
Well, I mean, I think she got sucked in by all this paranoia, and then I guess the sheriff drove by, again. And Christine's like, that's why we're moving right there. Everyone's just in a tizzy and no one's thinking straight.
Yeah. 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 And it's just like every time, Cody's like, oh, I always idolized the police and thought they were so cool. And, the girls were walking down to the store and they saw a policeman. It's like, the police do have to be on the street. They do have to exist outside of you and your issues and your problems.
Oh, and I love this when they were talking about the rental. Kody says Robin is kind of hesitant about the rental because she's never shared a kitchen with the other wives. And I'm just like, what in the hell went down in that kitchen? 20 years ago in Wyoming, that these people are traumatized by it.
I think, and it's what we read in the book. I think this is all the stuff between Janelle and Mary.
Yeah.
I don't think Christine's got anything to do with it.
No.
I think it's all Janelle and Mary and how
Mary was a
tyrant to Janelle and how Janelle kind of responded to it. And Kody, just being Kody, can never just kind of like let it lie, like not say anything about it. Has to like make some sort of dig. And she's never, shared kitchen. It's like, Kody, it's 30 days. Like,
right.
You found a place.
Work it out.
Let's move forward. You've got 36 hours, Kody. 30 hours.
Focus on something more productive.
Yeah, exactly.
Kitchen.
Okay. So Leon's having a very hard time. They're resisting packing their room. And then Mary says something. Mary's trying to make the best of it. And then Mary says, you heard your father's answer, which such a gross male chauvinist, right? Like dad's way goes. It's just, and that's what I wonder about. I wonder if Mary thought maybe Leon should stay, and why couldn't Leon stay with a relative?
Right.
And if that would that have been better for Leon? I don't know. I have no idea. But
yeah. So Leon finally accepts and starts packing.
It's going to happen. So Kody in a whirlwind goes back to the big house, but they can't take everything. So this,
oh my gosh,
this is where things go off the rails. And it was just like, so in the midst of all of this, okay, they've known for a while that they're going to leave. Yeah. They've known they've made this decision. They've known that they needed to do this over the break. So they're just now 36 hours out talking about like, well, what are we taking?
Yeah. What are we going to take?
What are we transporting? And how are we going to take these things physically from Utah to Nevada?
Yeah. And like Janelle is talking about how because Kody's saying, even if we just take, the essentials, which they took a lot more than the essentials.
Yeah.
They took a lot of stuff. He says it's not all going to fit in this trailer. They need a big truck. Mm-hmm. And she doesn't want to. Well, I think she doesn't. It's funny. He has to run every financial thing by her.
Yeah.
But I don't think she wants to spend the money. And then she doesn't want to draw attention to them. And of course, when they pull out of town, they have several trucks.
Yeah. I was going to say, you don't want to draw, Janelle, you don't want to draw attention to yourself.
Yeah,
do you think maybe the camera crew? Do you think the camera crew isn't necessarily drawing attention to you?
The big bright lights and
So this next, then there's this other separate argument about do we do Monday or Tuesday, right? Because they were supposed to leave Monday, but when Mona said, "Oh, you can get in on Tuesday," Kody's like, "Okay, well, let's just leave Tuesday because obviously we're not really ready to leave Monday." Mm-hmm. And Janelle's like, "I just want to go. I want to go. I want to get out of here." So now we're at this back and forth, and I don't know. I was with Kody on this one. I was just like, you have nowhere to go.
Right.
Like, why would you leave? And you're so ill prepared. Why not wait till Tuesday? But what is one day going to do?
Well, it turned out to be actually probably a good decision to leave Monday night because it took them like 24 hours to get there, which...
Oh, no, they didn't even get... Yeah, we'll get into that. I mean, but in the moment when we didn't know any of this stuff, I was with Kody on that. But yeah.
Yeah. Janelle's she's really shaken. She's crying and...
Oh, God, this is the most emotional I think up until this point we'd ever seen Janelle.
And then Kody makes the executive decision that they're leaving Tuesday at 6:30 a.m. I'm like, yeah, right.
Yeah. Janelle says that she and Kody are in a really bad place and she wants to get out of there. And she's mad that he wants to play it off the cuff. But I'm like, Janelle, you see who you married, right? Like it's always been off the cuff with Kody. Like, give me a break, And she's like, I just feel like we're at risk. I'm like, no, you're not. You know what? I mean, risk it. So here's a legal question. Mm-hmm. So the findings have been given to the district attorney. Mm-hmm. What would it matter if Kody went to Las Vegas Monday versus Tuesday versus Wednesday? If they were going to charge him, would it matter if he was across state lines?
Well, I mean, they'd have to extradite him.
Okay, can you extradite someone from Las Vegas to Utah? Isn't it the same country, right? We're all in the same country.
Well, it's state extradition is not just an international thing. It is a state by state.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yeah. So if you're arrested in one state for a crime committed in another state, there's a whole extradition process.
But if you commit a crime in Utah and you're in Nevada, don't you just doesn't Nevada and Utah work together to get the person back to Utah?
They do, but you have a right as a defendant to fight extradition. Mm-hmm. So there would be a hearing and there'd be a whole legal process. Or he would just, consent to it and just do it. But I mean, here's the thing. Okay, we don't know. They said that City of Lehigh just finished their thing and turned it over to the DA. Well, we don't know. Was that a day ago, 2 days ago, a month ago? I don't know. And, these things move kind of slowly.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like they seem to think that anytime they hear a siren, it's just someone coming to get him.
Yeah.
Coming to arrest him. And let's just say hypothetically, even if he was arrested, he'd probably be released or be able to post bail. Nothing's going to happen. How slowly the judicial system works. They'd get a lawyer and, this is such a crappy case for the DA because there's no crimes involved. This is like Warren Jeffs or, it's very overblown. I mean, they are serious charges if you're charged, but they could have taken a couple weeks probably.
Yeah.
And moved properly.
They probably could have even moved in the summertime. Do you know what I mean?
After the end of the school year.
Yeah.
And also, I wonder if they consulted with any attorneys in this process,
Mm-hmm. That's why I think more and more and more. I wonder if TLC said to them, well, then maybe we're going to stop filming.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you want to stick it out and wait till the summer, then we'll come back around. I think that it was really, truly like strike while the iron's hot.
Right.
If you want the show to keep going, if you want this to do this, then we cannot film in Utah anymore. Let's go. And I think when they talked about like betting on our future and going all in and quitting our jobs, that's what they were betting on, which is we're quitting our jobs and going all in on this show and on fame and what that will do for us. Because all of a sudden, when they got to Vegas, it was all about starting family businesses and gyms and doing all this stuff. It was all about like working together, which they'd never wanted to do before, ever,
Yeah. And they claim that they couldn't just work anywhere because they're such big celebrities now, Yeah. So no, this is just, they're just getting whipped up and it's great TV.
Yeah, it is. Jeez, Louise.
It's very entertaining. But, so then I guess this is when they actually have Dayton's birthday party.
Yes.
And Kody, I wrote down here that he got choked up. He made some speech or something. He always makes it about himself. It's like Dayton's birthday. Can we just not talk about how you're being persecuted and, just let the kid have his party. God.
I mean, geez, the poor kid is, he's having to move again.
Justice for Dayton.
Yeah,
I mean,
it is poor Dayton. Justice for Dayton. He's been through so much in the last umpteen years. Can he just have one night to himself?
Really? It's good to enjoy your 10th birthday or whatever it is.
So now we're at Monday morning. We're still packing. And this is when things go into overdrive because TMZ has found out that they're moving. And because of that, they decide to leave ASAP. So now they are truly fleeing. And the place, I mean,
it's a mess.
It looks like, I don't even know, like a hurricane hit it. And Daddy Logan he's policing those boxes. He is on Payton. What is this, Payton? What is this? There are 10 Payton boxes. And he's like, this, he's like, this is out. This is out.
He's frantically loading up this truck. He's just frantically packing. He's saying there's not enough time.
Yes. It's unreal. They have, so many people and a limited amount of space because I guess what do they have? They have the 5 cars and a trailer,
a big moving truck
and one big moving truck. And they have to move all their beds, but probably no furniture.
But why did they need all those beds? Like, where were they going to put? They're just moving into that rental home. Like, where were they going to put these beds? And then when they move into the actual homes, I don't know what they're thinking was.
I don't know.
Honestly, if they were that afraid, they should have just taken enough, clothes or whatever for a few weeks. And here's an idea: pay someone to go into your house, and pack it up and move it. You can actually pay people to do that.
Yeah, I don't think they had any money.
Well, they could have tried to get it out of TLC. I know they didn't have any money, but yeah, these people are so adverse to paying for moving. They've never paid. They're just always moving.
Yeah.
And they just make their kids do it.
Well, yeah. And That's a good question. Well, and Kody did say earlier in the episode, he did say, like, listen, we need to think about this like vacation, like your clothes, your essential, and when people are fleeing, that's what they bring. Clothes, your toiletries,
Right.
Your ID, some
But they're
basics.
bringing kitchen stuff and like,
and books. You don't even need all books and books and all that.
They probably were brought all their pantry food because, they got to save money. They got to cook and make food. So I don't know.
Anyway, but Robin's house is a rental. So they probably want their deposit back, or TLC said, we need our deposit back.
You need to clean all your shit out of here.
They had to clean that out. And the best is Robin's there and Robin's crying. And she says, this is not the America that I learned about when I was in school. And I'm going to tell you something, Robin. This is the America. Welcome to America, Robin, because this country our entire country has been founded on people that have come in and trampled on other people. We have, we are awful, awful, awful people. Our forefathers and
terrible people,
terrible
slave
people.
Owners.
We have enslaved people. We have, come in and taken other people's land.
Mm-hmm.
We have raped and pillaged. We are awful people. Awful.
Yeah.
This is the America. This is religious freedom, all this kind of crapola. Yes. This what you're doing, Robin, is nothing. This is small. Teeny tiny. This ain't nothing.
She's just
not America I learned about in school. Yeah, it's not the America you learned about
in school.
It's whitewashed.
Yeah, in school you learn a bunch of propaganda. So that's what you learned. Well, now you're learning about the real America. What it's really like.
Yeah. So anyway, I was like, oh God, you got to be kidding me here.
And then they show Janelle. She's just furiously walking down the street, pissed as hell. She says it's a brain damage to move this group. It's frustrating.
Yeah. But I think TLC was playing this, right? The sirens, and the panic of the sirens.
more sirens.
I mean, come on, people.
Yeah,
it was just right.
This is a small town. They've never heard so many sirens.
Yeah. So back at Robin's house, everyone has to gather around and they pray. And Kody says they are just going to drive and drive and drive until they can't drive any longer. And that's when God said, ha, 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 ha.
That's what you get for leaving in the middle of the night.
And you think that you can get anywhere.
You
Kody.
think you're so smart. But so when they're taking off, they have this huge moving truck, which Mary is driving.
Yes.
And then they have two cars are pulling trailers.
Oh, so they have two trailers. Okay.
Yeah. And then one of the cars, I think, is like a minivan and one's like a Christine's Suburban. And then Robin is driving Kody's Lexus.
Mm-hmm.
And then they start playing this weird song about how Jesus wants me as a sunbeam. That really strange song.
Yeah. And then visuals over the homes. And the home just
of the trashed, ransacked, ransacked house. It's completely. It looks like like the FBI came in there and conducted a raid.
Yes, well, and also because the one room where they let the kids write all over the walls. It looks like an abandoned like a crack den.
House.
Yeah, I mean, just awful.
They just keep showing these sad pictures of every room, and it's like, oh wow.
So now this is Monday night. So Brooke, would you like to take us on this journey? Because it was painful.
Well, about 11 or 12 miles. Excuse me. Well, they've made it 11 or 12 miles. The Lexus tire comes off the rim and the tire is just shredded. So everybody stops on the side of the road. They had to, I guess Robin's kids were in the car with her. They had to put her kids in another car. And there's only one place that's open. And they say it's Martin Luther King Day. So no places were open. And it's like, no places are open because it's like 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
That's nothing to do with Martin Luther King Day. So the only place open doesn't have the right size of tire. So Kody just gets one size up. He says it'll work, but he has to replace 2 tires to make it even. So that takes about 2 hours. Then they start driving. Then they get a whole 1 mile. Christine gets a flat tire in the van, but now the tire store is closed. So they've gone about, Logan says they've gone about 25 miles in 2 to 3 hours. Heck of a good start. And he's just laughing. Logan is just like, God, I mean, he expected it. He knew it. Again, I know you're fleeing and everything, but why are all your cars in such bad condition? Like,
yeah. That was the other part of it too, right? Which is, sorry. Like you just spent a bunch of money. You have this Lexus that you love, right? That you just spent a bunch of money on 2 tires that aren't even the right tires. Yeah. How much did that cost you? You know?
Oh, I know. Just a waste of money. It would have been a lot cheaper to just, maintain your car, Kody. So, okay. So the tire store's closed. So they try to use the spare tire in Janelle's car. I mean, this is just some jerry.
It has the same lug nut system.
Right. So Kody, who knows everything, he's like, oh, it'll work. It's got the same thing. But no, when they try to take off the tire, the nuts break. And he says something like, is this a sign? And it's like, no, it's just a byproduct of your stupidity. You know, so don't try to blame it on God. This is your fault, Kody. So then they have to get some hotel rooms.
Yeah. Well, this was this whole thing where like he puts on the spare, it doesn't work. Then he puts on the actual spare from Christine's car that you're supposed to put on, the lug nuts break. Then this is where he has a meltdown. He needs to hear a voice from God. And he says, it suddenly occurred to me the answer was so simple. And then I think someone approached him and said, why don't we go get a hotel room for the night? And then there's a tire place down the street. And it was like, oh, it was all so simple. It was like, yeah, that's what I was thinking the whole time.
I would have done that.
Why are you trying?
Yeah, 2 hours ago.
I don't know. Why doesn't someone, when you're all crazy fleeing, go, you know what? Us all trying to leave at, 10 o'clock at night on a Monday night when we can't even get into this place with all of these kids is insane. Why don't we all check our cars? It's just, all of it was just, it's too much. Like nobody thinks anything through. And I think that this is a bit of, it's this weird, it's because they constantly are on this weird line of, part democracy, part, Kody makes all the rules, part everything on faith, part, not really truthful about what's driving the decisions. It's, part his ADD, part poor planning. It's like all of these weird things where they arrive to how they make decisions. And all of this could have been like sitting down, thinking this through, making a decision, like being honest, telling the kids some version that feels okay, but not, you don't have to tell them the full truth, but being honest enough with them about really what's going on, being fair to the kids, explaining to them, you don't need to flee, like leaving like a normal person,
right?
And not, and checking all your cars out.
Yeah. If you learn nothing else from this show, this whole Sister Wives franchise, maintain your cars.
Yes.
Take them in at the recommended, every so many miles, check your tires, get everything inspected. I mean, good Lord.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So now we're at Tuesday morning. Everything's fixed. Everyone's had a good night's sleep, but so they've now we see them, they've traveled 200 miles. They've gotten 4 hours, 200 miles. They're almost at Cedar City and the trailer starts wobbling. Another flat tire. Oh my God. So a highway state trooper pulls over. Oh God.
Oh no. I hope he didn't have a siren on.
No,
would have set everybody off.
He's just checking to make sure that all these children that are out on the highway are not going to get run over.
Yeah,
because
get him off the side of the road
because he's doing his job.
Right.
So it's been 24 hours since they've fled their home. They've gone 200 miles.
Yeah.
And then Christine has a breakdown, and I don't blame her because I think this entire time she's the one that's had the kids.
Mm-hmm.
She's been dealing with the kids. They're hungry. They're tired. And Kody's just like, we're 60 miles to the Nevada border. We just got to go. We just got to cross that border. And
get to freedom.
To freedom. Yeah. And like I said, Vegas is Kody's Plymouth Rock.
All he wants is religious freedom.
All he wants is religious freedom.
But isn't that, again, that's so fucking selfish. You can't pull over so your kids can get a snack or something to eat, use the bathroom, stretch their legs. Nope. Gotta go. What an asshole.
Yeah. Well, and also, I mean, and poor Christine is the one probably dealing with all of these children. She's got little Truly. Kids. She's probably driving. She's got Truly who's crying.
Truly's in a car seat this whole time, during this debacle. And you got a lot of little kids. And the other part of it too is like, where was the food packed? They're not stopping for food for those kids. They had to pack them snacks. And I bet you anything, they're all along that highway that whole night. Then they go into the hotel. They probably had a horrible night, not a great night's sleep. Then they're up again the next day, get back into the car. And they were literally told 3 days earlier, you're leaving. Yeah. I mean, it's a nightmare.
Yeah.
Total nightmare. So they finally get there to this rental house, and Mona is there waiting.
Yeah, poor Mona. And you know what? Isn't it Wednesday by now?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Isn't it?
Wait. No, so they stay Monday
or is
night
it Tuesday
in the hotel.
night?
I think it's Tuesday night.
Is it Tuesday night? So poor Mona. It's probably like, it's probably so late for Mona. She's like, God damn it, I've had to wait.
She's been waiting for hours. Yeah.
To get them. But this is a new chapter for them. Hey, did you notice in this last segment that Mary has like a new hairdo? She had like kind of a fluff. She got rid of the straight hair. It was like she kind of got like a blowout.
She kind of curled it up. Yeah. Well, and I don't know if it was the end of this. Maybe it's the beginning of the next episode, because I kind of started watching the beginning of the next episode. But Kody brought, they're fleeing and just bringing essentials. Kody brought his motorcycle. Did you see that?
No. The end of this I thought was great, which is the exchange with Maddie. Where Maddie's there and Kody says to Maddie, what's wrong? And she goes, really? She says, I hate it here. I want to go home.
Yeah.
And she walks away. And it was just like, ooh, okay,
I think that was a producer who asked her.
I thought it was Kody. I think at the bottom it said Kody, but yeah.
And then they play that stupid Sunbeam song again.
God, the Sunbeams again. Okay.
That's the weirdest song.
Yeah.
Creeps me out. So, wow.
What an episode. Oh, God, fleeing. So much going on.
So much fleeing. So the big news in the Sister Wives world this week is that Christine got engaged.
Yes.
To her king.
Exciting.
David. Super exciting. I mean, I knew it was probably coming, but that's the whole thing. It's like people are saying, oh, this is too fast. But you realize that they've been together a lot longer. They just had to wait to announce it, because remember season 17 was like at least a year or more behind where we were when we were watching it,
Yeah.
It was still like deep in the middle of COVID. And these shows we're watching them at least a year after they film.
Mm-hmm.
So Christine has been single and in Utah for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And, I don't know how long she's been dating him, but anyway, who cares? They're in love. They're in their 50s. They know what they want. And, they're engaged.
Yeah.
Then, I saw she posted that, she's planning her wedding and she was asking for local people in Utah to give her recommendations.
Mm-hmm.
And, so I'm sure there's a wedding special, a wedding storyline,
Yes.
And it's reported that he has been filming with them, and that this whole thing, this engagement and the proposal and everything was filmed. This is going to be her storyline.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, this is what the report, obviously we don't know till the show comes out, but why wouldn't it be? I mean, she's sharing it all over social media, and he seems totally fine with it. And so I was reading, I had heard of this person before. There's this this person on YouTube and TikTok and all that called Without a Crystal Ball. Have you ever heard of that site? It's really good. I just started like following it, and this woman has really, really good information. Like she researches stuff, goes and looks up deeds and all this.
She doesn't just look into a crystal ball.
No, she gets
without
facts.
a crystal ball.
Without a crystal ball.
Yes.
She gets facts. So yeah, she reported that Christine and David bought a house, a 4,200 square foot home in Utah on March 10th, 2023 for $769,000.
Wow.
4-bedroom, 3-bath. And yeah, so they're just moving full steam ahead, and life is great for old Christine. And then some people, there was some, I don't think this came from Without a Crystal Ball, but people are reporting that Janelle thinks that Christine's engagement is too quick and she's not so sure about all this. I don't know if I believe that.
I don't think Janelle would say that per se.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I had heard that that before that they had been dating for a lot longer before they announced their relationship.
Clearly.
Because of the fact that we're so far behind, that we were watching the unraveling of her relationship with Kody. And because I think that his daughter, I think when Christine and David went public, I think the daughter went public and said, "Oh my God, I've been wanting to talk about this forever." So I don't think it's as fast as everyone thinks. So I think that Janelle has known the whole time. And I think that Janelle is probably very happy for her. So.
Yeah. Because and the reality show contracts, they're very strict about what you can say because they want to prevent spoilers. And so you don't ruin the whole show. And in fact, they said, this woman said that the Browns have always kind of lied about their relationships for the show. And like, for instance, it's kind of well known that Janelle marrying Christine had been estranged from Kody since 2016, despite what you saw on TV, and that he and Robin were basically, it was just the two of them in Las Vegas and the other three just kind of lived there. But then why did they move to Flagstaff with him? Again, it could have just been to keep the show going, because none of them wanted to move.
Yeah.
Well, except for Robin. So if they were already estranged from him and didn't have a good relationship with him, I don't know why they moved to Flagstaff. But anyway, yeah, I mean, they have to do that. They have to do that to keep this television world believable. So that's the big news of the week.
Yeah, that's exciting. It's very exciting. Very, very exciting. So I wonder if then then if they were estranged when they were in Vegas, then why? And she really never wanted to move to Flagstaff. Why move to Flagstaff? If it was only to keep the show going, then what was it about this time around for her? Right? Because now she really put her foot down and said, well, I don't care about keeping the show going anymore. I'm really leaving you. I am going back to Utah.
Well, maybe because she had built up her finances, because that's when she started. Maybe once she got to Flagstaff, she just put all her energy into
like LuLaRoe, and maybe she was just like, I don't know. Maybe in Flagstaff, she finally got a therapist, started working on herself. Maybe it was her kids were grown. Her kids got older. She started working on herself. She got all the money together. She stopped giving it to him. Maybe she just was starting her own funds, and she was like, And maybe because all the money was always going for the show was going to Kody, it was sort of like, listen, I don't need the show. Like, I'm not getting paid for the show anyway. If I don't have the show anymore, that's fine because I'm getting all this money anyway from these other avenues. Though, I mean, obviously she does well with LuLaRoe and Plexus because of the show. I'm sorry. If I woke up yesterday and started selling Plexus, I wouldn't be where Christine is.
Right.
So that's part of it. But I guess maybe she just gambled on the fact that like, okay, you know, I'll figure it out.
Yeah. Her kids were still, she still had kids at home, you know, more than just Truly. I mean, so I think it was the kids and the finances. And then once she got to Flagstaff and those things started to change and she was like, you know what? I'm already popular enough without this. And I think she knew that they weren't just going to boot her off the show. You know?
Yeah. Well, yeah. And then, you know, it was kind of like, do it without me. See how it goes.
Right.
You know? And so I'm sorry, did you say that something about, and so has Kody said anything publicly?
No, I don't, not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
I'm sure he won't. I mean, I don't think he's really said other than what he said on the TV show. I think he's keeping it quiet.
Yeah.
Because, he doesn't want to lose the show either.
No, he doesn't. Well, I think I heard some rumblings that apparently I don't know, maybe this is like how rumors get started. I think I had heard some rumblings that he was mad that maybe David was using her for the show or something like, oh, now he's filming or something like that. But whatever, Kody.
Yeah.
Like what? This is this guy's master plan.
Yeah.
Like, he loses his wife and he starts, you know, he moves to Utah and zeroes in on Christine. And this was his master plan for her to fall in love with him and, you know, get on this TLC show. I mean,
the thing is, any guy who Christine ended up with was going to have to be okay with all of this, was going to have to be okay with the show, was going to have to be okay with being featured on the show and everything, because otherwise it wouldn't have worked, because this is her livelihood. So, you know, I think he's doing it because he loves her and he wants to be with her.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm sure he'll cooperate and he'll go along and he'll film the scenes and he'll do this or that, but I don't think he really cares, you know?
Yeah.
I wonder how they met though. Like, I was wondering, maybe someone set them up? I can't see Christine like really going on dating apps and stuff, but I'm sure they were set up by somebody and, you know, who probably knew that this guy would be okay with all of this. Yeah.
Well, and he's a widower, right? And I don't think like male widowers, I think don't stay single very long. I think that he was a widower. I think he was probably, you know, single for whatever length of time. And I think probably someone knew and thought they would be a good
man. And I think he still has kids at home too, like maybe one or two. So they're kind of in the same boat, you know?
Yeah. Now they're living their best lives out in Salt Lake. And I hope she has a fabulous wedding. I hope she has a big white wedding dress and does all of that and has all of that. Since she really didn't get it from Kody, and no gross brown dress after you had a baby. That crapola that she had to do for Robin's wedding. And,
never again.
Yeah. So I really hope she, you know, gets to be the star. So it's very thrilling. I'm happy for her.
Yeah. It's exciting. I know I woke up that morning and I looked at Instagram and that was the first thing that popped up and I was like, I sent it to you right away.
I was like, oh,
did you see this?
Yeah. And then we, spent 20 minutes like, how do we post this? Like idiots. Like,
how do you post to Instagram?
I know. How do we get onto our social? Well, it was like more of like, how do we get onto our podcast feed?
Yeah. What's the password? I know.
That's our biggest struggle.
We're learning.
Yes.
We're learning.
All right. So, if if you enjoy this podcast and you enjoy us, please hit the subscribe button so that you never miss an episode. We'll be back on Thursday where we'll be wrapping up our coverage of Love is Blind season 4, where we'll be talking about the weddings and the live reunion. And then, if you enjoy this podcast and you would like to say some kind words about it, please go to Apple and give us a 5-star review and a rating and say some nice words. We'd appreciate it. And follow us on social media at PsychLegalPop on Instagram and TikTok. And I think, is there anything else? I think that's it. All right. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Howdy, howdy, ho, and welcome to Fantasy Fan Fellas. I'm Hayden, producer of the Fantasy Fangirls podcast and your resident lover of all things Sanderson.
And I'm Steven, your bookish internet goofball, but you can call me the Smash Daddy.
And we are currently deep diving Brandon Sanderson's fantasy epic, Mistborn. But here's the catch. Steven here has not read Mistborn before.
That's right, hey. So each week, you'll get my unfiltered, raw reactions to every single chapter.
And along the way, we'll do character deep dives, magic explainers, and Steven will even try to guess what's next. Spoiler alert, he'll be wrong.
Newsflash, I'm never wrong. Episodes come out every Wednesday, and you can find Fantasy Fan Fellas wherever you get your podcasts.